It's been a great pleasure. And also, I think understanding what issues we face as we do the research, we can find out more and more. Specifically, I think we were asked to share, what is happening and how our lives changed during the pandemic. And I think the challenge for us was that we were already empty nesters. Our kids had gone off to college or had started working. And then now in this place, it was really hard for them to be living by themselves because they were in smaller apartments or wherever they were. And it felt like we needed company because you couldn't socialize. And so we invited our kids to come home and stay with us. So we had my older son and his girlfriend, who is now his fiance, and my younger son. So three of them home. And it's a very different way of dealing with things because you can't just be mom, and sometimes the temptation to become mom and start doing everything, and I had to stop and say, wait a minute, Preeti, now your life has changed and now they're grown kids. So I had to constantly remind myself that it's all right. Okay, who's going to help with lunch now? Who's going to help with dinner? Who's sort of inviting them to participate and be a part was very important. And then not to sort of expect something and set a certain rule, kind of generally just accept. The other thing was also to make sure that we're all taking the time to exercise and relax as well. So things like that and having some time. And also making time for yourself, because during this time, the mom part of you sort of jumps out and you're trying to do everything. So stealing a few minutes, self-care doesn't have to take hours and hours. You can just take 5 minutes by yourself, sit quietly, do meditation, watch something. So yeah, I think it was quite an interesting challenge, but we learned a lot from it. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more in the Q&A. So I'll, hand it over to someone else to share the next.
Yep. So Paris, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jayashri. I'm so excited to be here and share my experiences, but also learn from the other panelists as well. So for me, during the pandemic, it was about our move, which we had just in a few months before the pandemic hit, cross country with our 3 kids. And it was a very difficult situation because we were constantly thinking, if only if we had known. We wouldn't have done the move. The kids were upset because, they didn't kind of have the time to make new friends. They had to right away go to virtual school. So it was a very challenging situation at home with the kids. And at the same time, my mom was going through cancer treatment on the East Coast. And so we couldn't visit her because of the pandemic as well. So it was stressful because she wanted to see us, she wanted to see the grandkids, but it was really, we wanted to go, but we just thought that was the right decision not to go and visit her, as she was in a very delicate situation. So for us with the kids, it was, working with them and saying, it's okay, it will pass. You do still have opportunity to make new friends. You are in virtual school, so you still get to see them through Zoom. But also I reached out to the community and to our, school to help make introductions for our kids with other kids. And they were, other kids who had already formed a pod where they were actually meeting outside and playing. So our kids were able to be part of that pod and, just meet new people, meet new friends, and really enjoy themselves, because this was a great opportunity for them to be outside. When their friends came over, if they went over to their friends, it was all about, playing outside. At home, I work full time. I'm a working mother. My husband works as well. And for us, it was, how do we teach our children responsibility? And they were at this age, where they were just kind of getting ready. It could do their own things. So we had a discussion with them and said, well, now we have no help, and mom and dad are working, so you have to help with the chores. And, they were very resistant in the beginning. It's like, no, we can't do this. But we had a chat with them, and they all kind of picked what they wanted to do. So it was, just kind of teaching them, yes, you can do it. You can still do your, laundry, which is helpful to mom. I think, Preeti, as you were mentioning, it was, even with the younger kids, was all about, helping out, making dinner together, teaching them. So we tried to make this kind of a hard situation into a learning for our children. But for me as well, it was hard because I had no, friends that, very few friends we knew in the Bay Area. So, reaching out to a couple of my kids' friends and say, well, we can just go for a walk. So it was just, kind of being really proactive and taking and reaching out to the community for to make some new friends and kind of, interacting with the community as well. So with that, I can maybe pass over to Preet.
Thank you, Paris. I want to echo what everybody else said in terms of being really excited to be on this panel today. I think for me, kind of the hardest thing was just starting to do remote work with a toddler at home. So I was very, grateful that I had my parents are here, my in-laws are here. So I've always had childcare, but they're elderly and we were really worried about their health and not knowing, what's safe, what's not. And so we decided not to continue to send my daughter to her grandparents' house for childcare. So now my husband's working, I'm working, and we have a toddler. She was in preschool prior to the pandemic, but we decided to pull her out. But she was also at this delicate space of her, development of where her social emotional intelligence is kind of being built at this age. And so how do we continue to support that at home with just 2 adults? And so we tried the online preschool, which was very interesting, and more power to those teachers that were doing remote learning with such young children. But just to keep some structure for her. But that also meant that we had to be really structured with our work schedules and making sure that, when we had meetings and all of that, and managing and making sure that she was able to log in and, staying with her. She's not old enough to be on remote learning by herself. And just sitting with her, working through all of the lessons and encouraging her. So being the teacher, so wearing different hats was something that, trying to balance that, like wearing the teacher hat, wearing the mom hat, or wearing, the psychologist hat. So a lot of trying to find that balance of not only my roles, but also, when does my day start and when does my day end? And I'm sure a lot of the women on this panel and in the audience can kind of resonate with that. Is, we would start our day, we would make breakfast, I would go on a meeting, then I throw a load of laundry in and then come back and then start dinner. And so there was just no, like, this is my work time and this is my home time. It kind of was just all meshed together. And I know that now that we've kind of found this new normal, but it did take a long time. And then while I was wearing my psychology hat, I was really struggling with this piece of how can I help others live with this uncertainty and deal with these anxieties when I'm also going through the same thing. This is very unique. Like, we are all have faced some level of trauma with this pandemic. We're all going to have a level of post-traumatic stress disorder as a society, as a community, and as a provider, as a professional. How do I support others when I'm also struggling? So making sure I was taking time out for myself and trying to figure out how do I encourage others? How do I model it for others?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I mean, listening all those things. Actually, you might think I'm weird. It did not have any effect on me. It has all the pluses on me. But I know I'm very, very social person. I used to go ICC 4 days a week, go in the morning around 9:30 and would not come back until 6 because I have a 6, because I have a very social group and going to movies and all kind of things. So when I heard that ICC is closed, so I said, oh, we can't go anymore there. That's the first thing came to my mind. But at the same time, the Zoom was I can say my friend, and I can say everything for Zoom. So Zoom is the one. Because of Zoom, I don't know, I did not get panic. I didn't feel anything bad or say my friends were calling me. I kind of keep talking and talking to them. I like a counseling. And because I started doing the meditation every Monday to Friday, just planning healing, that was very good for me. And the 7 days a week yoga twice a day. So what happened to me, I was fine. But at the same time, and then my children were calling because one is Washington, D.C., one is Santa Barbara. They were worried about me because I'm alone. I said, don't worry, I'm fine. And then I'm the one who telling them what to do, what not to do. So those kind of things, I felt it was, and then somehow Zoom gave me, like I said, so much, I can't even explain how many friends and all those things. But I was happy to help others who were very depressed, very down, anxiety attack, and loneliness, and a lot of things are happening. So my day mostly after, and I was attending like 4 to 5 Zooms a day. Still, I was cooking and everything. I was fine. I never felt any loneliness or anything. But I was there for each and everybody. Sometimes I used to get exhausted after talking to them, so many people, but I was happy. Then I needed a me time. So then my me time is doing the gardening. So I plan my day such a way, so that way, and then, but because of all these kind of things and a lot of things, like I said, plus I changed my eating habits, like timing. I was eating at 8 o'clock. I started eating early. So eating early, sleeping early, waking up early, routinized, three things I adopted. It's, you just like routine, rhythm. So those kind of things, when you do that, then you just don't feel lonely or anything. So far, and I I had a lot of helpers. Somebody will call me, do you want me to get the, because I'm a senior, so they, senior group, they will call me, Pushpa, do you need any groceries or something or like that? So I did that, they did. So sometimes month and a half, I did not get out from the house. But only thing what I will say, I was more busier than before pandemic. So to me, and I, I should not say, I'm really happy and healthy, more healthy and happy, because I don't have to drive. I don't have to worry about the filling up the gas and all kind of things. But I'm really happy to help others. That's my whole motive was. I will call like 4 or 5 friends because I know, and I will ask them, what did you eat today? What did you cook? What are you doing? And I will kind of tell them, no, don't eat the junk and this and that. Oh, I just made the kheer and I ate the whole pot. I said, what? So all kind of things was happening. And then the plus thing I did, I created a Zoom. So we were having the twice a month lunch with group. So that way they felt like we are still in ICC. And then we will play games and everything. We'll do Antakshari. So every twice a week, month, we will do that. So then they said to me that you kept us together as a group. That's what was my whole motive was, to help others who is they're alone, they're lonely, I'm the same way. Then they ask me, where do you get all the energy to do all those things? I say, you know what? I don't have to think what is next. It just automatically happens to me. So I am a like big planner from the day one, like I was grew up. So I always plan things without writing or anything, and I do A to Z everything. So to me, it was really, I'm happy that I could help others. So that's what it is. Thank you.